Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and obviously in this video today, we will be interviewing Tampa Bay Buccaneers former WVU wide receiver TJ Simmons. But to start the interview, we actually had a very nice conversation about just the area surrounding the campus of West Virginia University. Myself and TJ have both spent a lot of time in Morgantown, West Virginia, where that school is located. So it was a pretty nice conversation to start, and then we actually got into the interview questions. And again, if you guys do want to go check out TJ's merchandise line as well as the deal that he has with Reveal Suits, all of that will be linked down in the comment section below. But guys, without further ado, enjoy the interview.
No problem. Thank you for having me on. Like, you know what I'm saying? You the first person, like, real Tampa Bay, like, outlet that reached out to me. So I'm glad to do this.
Yeah, man, I got you. Actually, I was super happy to get you on because me and my family, we go up to Morgantown every summer. We got a lot of family that lives up there.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, have you ever, my dad actually was wondering, have you ever been to a place called Lefty's Pizza?
Man, Lefty's Pizza. Not gonna lie, not even just because you said it. Lefty's Pizza is like one of my favorite places in Morgantown. The best. They got the best wings and fries.
Yeah,
and they do the like the Chicago deep dish pizzas too. So I like Lefty's.
Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're talking to former WVU wide receiver and current Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver. It is TJ Simmons. TJ, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm down here in Tampa actually right now, living this good Tampa, Florida life with the sun.
It's a little bit different weather than Morgantown, huh?
Yeah, it's just like a complete 180 from cold to sun.
Yes, sir. So we had just talked about it a little bit before the interview, but myself and TJ, we both are very familiar with Morgantown, very familiar with WVU. I've talked about this before. I like West Virginia football. I'm a big fan of that, and very happy to have TJ on here. And TJ, again, I'm going to thank you for coming on here and talk with me for a little bit. It's incredible to have you on, man.
Thank you for having me. Morgantown and West Virginia, it runs through my blood now, so we got something in common.
Right on, man. I agree 100%. So let's actually get started talking about your time at West Virginia, right? You spent a couple of seasons there. Now you're making your way into the NFL. So looking at that time, those 3 seasons you spent there, who were some of the players and coaches that kind of helped you along your way and were mentors to you? I know some of the guys are still working their way into the NFL. Some of the guys are already into the NFL right now. And you had 2 different coaches during that process as well. So who were some of those players, coaches, or just people in general at West Virginia who helped you along the way?
So coming from Bama, kind of gravitate to the guys that you can notice, the guys that's really ball players and that's really ready to put in the work and that's working every day. So at first, when the season I didn't play, I was more watching like Will Greer and some of the guys on defense like David Long and Kaiser White, some of those guys. And then as I started to play, I started to back up David Seals and Gary Jennings, and those are 2 guys who had great seasons to end their career at West Virginia. And those are some of the guys I kind of gravitated to, the guys that had the work ethic and the guys that was real leaders by what they did, not too much what they said. And that's what I really like, people who do and not too much talk. You know what I'm saying? And those were some of the guys that coaches wise, my position coach, Tyron Carrier, he's at Houston now. And the coach that actually brought me to West Virginia, Doug Belk, he was the DB's coach. So like we had good relationships. And those were 2 guys in their profession who was about their business, who was about like perfecting their craft and making sure like what they was bringing to their players was like A1 material to make them succeed on the field. And that's what they did. So those were some of the guys that I probably like looked after.
Yeah, so it's definitely more of like a situation where you're like, actions, like leadership through actions, is a big
exactly.
Looking at some of those guys. And ironically enough, Will Greer now, he's on the Carolina Panthers. So kind of a division rivalry type there, We're going to be seeing him twice a year. So, obviously you spent a couple of years in West Virginia, had a pretty awesome career there, did a lot in terms of, numbers and things along those lines. What helped influence your decision in college to kind of go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and look to give this NFL thing a shot?
Well, the NFL's always been my goal since I was a young kid. So I've always been working towards that. And going to college made the goal even more realistic to me. It was more attainable for me. And then as I went through college and I'm seeing like what I'm doing on the field and I'm watching NFL and I'm watching other guys in college football, I'm like, okay, I can compete with the top guys. So I'm like, this league thing can really happen. And then I had a daughter. My daughter was born in 2019, summer before the season, and that influenced me even more. Whenever she was born, I was really more focused on. I'm like, okay, gotta do everything it takes to get there. Now I can't half step anything because I gotta feed my baby. So you know what I'm saying. That's another thing that really pushed me ahead to go ahead and get right and go.
Yeah, that's, I've talked to a couple of guys and like there really isn't a better motivation than family. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
There really isn't. So when preparing to enter the NFL, what were some of the more important aspects for you in terms of what you needed to work on, both as a as a player, and then more specifically as a wide receiver?
Me personally, it's really the work ethic that I wanted to really lock down on, because talking to people in the league and people that I know who play in the league, they just basically say it's your job. So yeah, even when you're not like playing football, this is your job still. So you have to do things to better yourself so you can keep your job, basically. So like one thing I focused on was like off the field stuff and on the field stuff, just making sure I'm getting my work in, focusing on the little things like catching jugs, multiple jugs, working on conditioning, footwork, off the field, making sure I'm a great father, because I graduated in 2019. So my school, I had already accomplished the goal of graduating and getting a degree. So then my baby was about to be born. So school wasn't the main priority. It was my baby. So it was like focusing on being a great father and doing the little things for her and just being consistent really in everything that I did.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I've talked about with a couple of other guys is, their first year going into the NFL was what they learned most was, how to be that professional, and like how to go in there and like set a schedule and like act like an NFL player. You know what I mean? So it sounds like you're already well on your way to kind of like, hey, I know what I got to do. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to set my schedule. Got to, do all these different types of things. You know what I mean? While also trying to find that balance of being a dad as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Coming since I came into college, I've learned from the guys, just being around the guys that I met at Alabama and the guys that were coming back and the guys that from the league that I've talked to is basically like college, but like you're getting paid to do it and it's your job and nobody's going to tell you what to do. You got to do it yourself. So it's like, I just try to, if I can get a schedule set, I just try to hold myself to the same standard that I was held at school. And it's like, okay, if I don't do this, and I gotta, you know what I'm saying? It's a consequence to it. So, you know what I'm saying? I try to hold myself accountable in everything.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of, I guess, self-control is the best word,
Exactly.
It's kind of sitting there and like making sure you hold yourself accountable, exactly like what you just said.
Exactly.
But TJ, kind of taking a look at the pre-draft process, kind of talk about how that went, talking about your pro days, workouts, everything else in between. When I was doing actually research, I looked at a quote that your coach gave you. I believe it was on your pro day, where he said, I thought TJ Simmons moved better than he did in the fall, which is a credit to him and his preparation leading up to this event. That was from Neil Brown. So, kind of looking at that preparation and kind of that process, talk about how that was and all the stuff that went into that.
So I trained down in Atlanta, Georgia with Manny Rodriguez at the U48 performance. Okay. And I was like those 6 weeks, I really locked in. Before pro day, I played in a couple of Senior Bowls. I played in the Tropical Bowl down in Orlando, and I also played in the Hula Bowl. So still playing football, doing real football, and into January. Then February, I locked in on training down in Atlanta, Georgia for like six. It was like 6 or 7 weeks, and it was real one-on-one training. It was me and 2 other guys, and every day for like 5 or 6 hours a day, it was just me and those 2 guys in our training, and we focus on the little things. I keep iterating the little things. You know what I'm saying? Things that I might not have thought about, ankle flexibility, you know what I'm saying? Just little things that he's bringing up, like, oh yeah, you need to work on this, you need to work on this, you need to work on this, and this is what you can do for those specific things to get this better, and that'll make you run faster, to make you move more smoothly. So I was really locked in for those 6 weeks before pro day. Then pro day came. I think I had a good pro day.
Yeah.
Like you said, what Coach Brown said, my coach, my position coach, Coach Parker, told me that I look good. So I feel like I had a good pro day, and it was all just really surreal, just doing all that stuff, just going through that process. Because it's like, I've been playing football since I was 5 years old. I'm 23, so like, you know what I'm saying? 18 years, and like the whole time I've been playing, the goal has been to get to this point. So it was like all of it was surreal. So I was just really soaking it in and enjoying every little detail of the process.
Yeah, you know, we're around the same age, right? I'm 24, so you know, people like kind of overlook that part of like, you know, just really anything. You know, I think there's like this mystique about, you know, obviously NFL players, but like when you think about it, it's like, man, like, yeah, we're at the end of the day, we're young guys get excited. You know what I mean? To be in those kind of situations,
yeah, it's like
opportunities.
They just think it's like, because we put on the image like everything is cool, calm, and collected, you know what I'm saying? But inside, like, we still, like, we've been doing this since we was kids, and this has been the goal since we was kids. So that kid inside of us is really coming out around this time, because, like, we so excited because it's really going to the, you know what I'm saying? Everybody watch the draft every year. You know what I'm saying? If you're an NFL and football fan, you watch the draft, and like going through that process is just real fun, because all my friends like, man, it's crazy knowing somebody. They just ask me a lot of questions. Like, it's crazy knowing somebody who's actually going through the process. Like, how is it? Like, how do you feel about it? And it's just so fun. It's so surreal.
And that's even more credit to you and a lot of the other guys, where it's like, you know, you have to keep that professionalism. You know what I mean? You can't be like, exactly. Dude, I'm here at my pro day. This is awesome. I got teams watching. This is freaking great, you know?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, man. But, you know, kind of moving past the pre-draft pre-draft process. We'll get back to that in a little bit. But looking at, you know, some of the other wide receivers in the NFL right now, you know, at least in my research, I know you're 6'2", 198, still similar build to that right now?
Yeah, well, I'm like 208,
okay.
210 right there.
Okay, so 6'2", 208, 210. You know, looking at the NFL and looking at some of the guys, were there any kind of wide receivers that you watch film on that you kind of go, yeah, I want to mold my game to that guy coming into the NFL, and just anybody you thought that, you know, you kind of wanted to mold your game around?
Yeah, so I like to take a little piece from anybody that I can get it from. Okay. Some of the guys like Mike Evans, crazy that being able to be in the same position room as him. He uses his body well. He's a big guy, and I like the way he uses his body. He blocks, you know what I'm saying? He's physical, and I take some things from him. Brandon Marshall was a guy that my freshman year, an older guy told me, watch Brandon Marshall film, because you can play like him. So I started watching Brandon Marshall, and the same as Mike Evans, he's a bigger guy. He uses his body well. He knows how to create separation using his strength and using what he has, his tools he have. And I also watch some of the smaller guys like Edelman and Wes Welker. Those guys, real shifty in the slot. They know how to get open. They're real crafty, and they just know the game of football so well that they make it look easy, but they make everything look alike. They focus on the details. Those guys, and they make plays. They get open. They make plays, and they're like people don't. At first, people didn't expect them to do that, right? And they started to perfect that craft and really focus, and they started to make plays, and those are some of the guys. And then, you know, I watch all the fast guys too. You know, I might not be as fast as them, but it's little things that they do too that I can pick up on. I like the little shifty guys. Jerry Judy, that's my guy. I might not be able to shake people and run routes like him, but I take a little bit from him too because he's nasty.
I gotcha. That's awesome that you pull from a lot of different sources. You know what I mean, and kind of mold it all together into one game. That's very awesome strategy. You know what I mean, in terms of like, you keep your options open. I'm going to learn a little bit from everybody here and not just focus on one specific thing. That's it's pretty good. I love how you said Mike Evans. We'll actually talk about that in a little bit, but I love that. Leading up to the draft, did you have any type of contact with teams that were potentially interested in you going into that draft weekend? And if so, what were those teams, and was there a chance of potentially getting drafted there?
So the whole time going through the process, my draft grade was undrafted free agent. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was, so going into it, it was like, it can happen. If I get drafted, I'll be very excited. But this is you know what I'm saying? This is what we're expecting. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it was a lot of the teams that I talked to, it was really just contact, draft day contact. Okay. What's your number, email, just catching up on things like that. So didn't really have any deep intellectual conversation. So I don't think it was a possibility of getting drafted, but I don't know. And I was hoping for it, but I really wasn't banking on it. So
yeah. I gotcha. So you got that phone call from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, pretty much right after the draft then, right?
Yeah. My agent had been we had been communicating the whole day on Saturday, and he was telling me he had been talking to the Buccaneers and they was interested, and if there was a potential landing spot. So that was always in the back of my head, and it was different team. It was a couple different teams, but I remember him talking about the Buccaneers like throughout the day on Saturday. So it was always the whole day. I was like, okay, maybe I might be going to Tampa.
Right. Okay. And kind of like that dialogue of like, yeah, there's a couple of other teams, but I've been talking to Tampa all day kind of situation.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So, with signing with the Bucs, is there anything that you look forward to that you didn't think about before the draft?
Playing with Tom Brady.
Yeah, I know that's the obvious answer.
That's a great question, because I haven't really sat down and thought about it. It really hasn't even hit me that. Yeah. I keep saying it like, okay, I just signed to the Buccaneers, like I'm in the NFL. Like it's all, like I keep saying, it's all so surreal. So like, right. I feel like it really won't kick in until like we get out there to practice and I'm playing football, and then like I look down and it's like, oh, okay. It's not West Virginia jersey anymore. This is not. I'm not in college anymore. I'm out here with the guys. I'm out here in the league, and it's just the things that I haven't thought about was just like, it's just being in the NFL. Like I wanted to be in the NFL, just like now I'm actually in the NFL, and it's like, what now? Like is it still the same? Are we still playing? Are we still just young kids trying to have fun? Or do I need to flip a switch? And it's like, I need to be straight business, or, you know what I'm saying? It's I'm hearing a lot of different things from different people. And it's all so crazy to me.
Yeah. There's only so much you can get from like word of mouth, right? From like getting information from other people. And then once you get there, I've heard it described a lot as it's like a whirlwind. You know what I mean? It's just, you're moving all the time. You're just trying to figure things out, and you're still in that process, man, So like the idea of, just being like, okay, I'm here, I'm signed, and I'm with the defending Super Bowl champions right now with Tom Brady, the GOAT at quarterback. Yeah, that's a lot to take in a couple of days,
For real. It's like people keep saying like, you get to play with Tom Brady, you get to catch passes from Tom Brady. I'm like, going to the NFL is one thing. Catching passes from Tom Brady is a whole nother thing. So like, it's just I'm blessed. I'm excited about the opportunity to even be on the same team as him and just see how he works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to take some things from Tom Brady, even though he plays quarterback. It's a lot of things I can learn from Tom Brady. So can't wait for that.
I've asked a couple of guys, and now that we've been talking about it, I'll ask you the same thing. Are you going to get on the TB12 method?
The TB12 method?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen TJ, but Tom has this book, and it's a lifestyle book called the TB12 method. And it's a pretty decently sized book, and it teaches you, or, you know, tells you the certain types of things you should eat, you know, drinking water, meditation, all these other different types of things, workouts with like pliability and things like that. You know, it's basically a lot of the stuff that Tom Brady does. And actually here on the channel, we had an experiment where I did it for a whole week. And it was a really enjoyable experience. So, yeah, definitely look into it. In fact, you know,
yeah, I might need to read the book. I'll probably get the book and read the book and see what the TB12 method's talking about.
Yeah,
this is my first time hearing about it.
Yeah, now that you're here in Florida too, dude, any bookstore you go to, man, they'll have that book. It's pretty cheap. It's a $20 book. And there's a lot of really good information there about workouts and eating and drinking and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely check it out, man.
Definitely will. That's gonna be my next book that I'm adding to the collection.
Yeah, man. I couldn't recommend it more. You know, like I said, I was there for a week, or I was on it for a week, and it was a pretty good process. You know, It was a pretty good process. But you know, taking a look here, are there any, we did mention it earlier, but are there any specific wide receivers or quarterbacks besides the two obvious ones, Mike Evans and Tom Brady, that we've already talked about, that you're now looking forward to learning from and playing with on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Gronk.
Yeah.
Gronk is one, because Gronk is he's an animal. Yes. It's something I can learn from him as well, because it's just like Gronk. It's just like
right.
And then Godwin. Yeah, him too. He's nice. He's nice. He plays in the slot, and he know how to get open, and he make plays. So definitely them two, other than the obvious two. And if AB is back for next season, him as well, because we've watched film. We used to do this thing where everybody picked the receiver in the league and broke down the film, and I started really watching AB when one of my teammates picked AB and he broke down his film, and it was just small things like hand comeback and releases that was like definitely can take that part or take a little bit from him and learn something from him. And then he's a playmaker for real, so definitely excited to work with him too.
I will say, yeah, Antonio Brown has re-signed with the team. He's on a 1-year deal right now, so he will be there for this upcoming season, which will be good to get some more learning in there. But like you said, you know, with all those options, you know, again, it's like some of the greatest players in, you know, league history at their positions, you know. And to be able to get all that information from all those different guys. And I think, you know, people make fun of Gronk, but I think Gronk has mastered the art of making his job fun, you know?
Man, and it's like he's literally living his best life, and he plays football for a living. And it's like Tom, they so good of friends. It was like, I feel like Tom really just called him like that commercial, like, come, we're playing football, come back. And it's like he came down, he was like, okay, I'm finna go play football again. Don't really have to, don't really need it, but hey, let's go have some fun. Let's go win the Super Bowl. Like, it's just, he's living his best life for real.
I imagine that is probably exactly how that conversation went down. Exactly how that went down. Man. But TJ, going into your rookie season, are there any personal goals or expectations that you have when you kind of think about, okay, what do I want to accomplish here in my rookie season in the NFL?
My only goal right now is to make the 53-man, to make the team.
Yeah. And
that's a great cushion, because I need to start thinking once I do make that goal, creating the role, whether it's special teams or whatever it is, and just making it the best experience possible.
Yeah, I gotcha. So let's talk real quick about your deal with Reveal Suits. Okay, I saw the photo of the custom West Virginia jacket. It looked fabulous, man. It looked freaking awesome. Talk about kind of that sponsorship, what it means to you to get a sponsorship that early on in your career in the NFL right now.
That was great. Getting that deal with Reveal Suits, and their mission is very similar to what a lot of things I want to do: give back, teach younger kids how to, you know what I'm saying, dress for success. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they put the Dove V on the inside is even better, because now I can look good, and then the whole time like I'm repping my alma mater, and they got so many different options. They got so many different fabrics and different styles and colors, and you can get any type of suit you want. While, you know what I'm saying, rocking your alma mater. So that was great. And getting it that early, it was like I said, this whole process, that was during the whole, and it was like, okay, a suit deal. I like wearing suits. I like looking nice and stuff like that. So getting a suit deal, I was like, oh yeah, I'm jumped to the opportunity to get a suit deal. So it was all that surreal. It was just crazy experience, and it was real fun just going through the process of even creating the suit. Yeah.
Are you gonna get a Buccaneers lined one now?
Definitely going to talk to them about it. If we're going to be traveling, you know what I'm saying, wear a suit, game days, travel days, it'll be great to have a Buccaneers line, and that's something that I'm actually going to talk to them about, trying to get that in the works.
Right on, man. I can't wait to see it on Instagram then, man. That'll look sick.
You might have to get you a little you a little blaze or something.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I do usually wear one in some of the videos for like certain things. So hey, man, get one with a WVU inline or a Tampa Bay Buccaneers inline, you know? I'm just saying, man, it'd be a good look.
Definitely be a good look.
So another thing I wanted to talk with you about, TJ, is, you know, is there any way fans can support you off the field in terms of like merchandise or brands or things along those lines?
So I actually did this. I actually got a deal with this company called Fan Art. Okay. And they created some merchandise for me. We got a link in all of my social media bios, Twitter and Instagram, and you can go in there and you can purchase some TJ Simmons merch. We got this nice Born Rich shirt. Born Rich, the eye is me, a picture, like an in-game picture of me. That's probably my favorite. It got all different colors, and they actually got the TJ Simmons logo. TJS logo, and they got that type of that merchandise as well. Get phone cases, t-shirts, hoodies, anything you need, really.
I gotcha. I'll tell you, I'm going to be taking a look into that as well. I've already seen a little bit of it, and I'm going to be taking a look into getting TJ Simmons shirt or something along those lines to show some support for you there. Did you design that? Did you design that merch yourself, or?
I gave them some what I wanted, some hints to what I wanted, but they created the logos, they created the merch for me.
Okay, right on. Yeah, so far I've loved the designs that I've seen, and I can't wait for more stuff to get put on there and more merch to get updated. And for everybody watching this too, I will have links to where you guys can get that merchandise down pinned in the comments section below, so you guys can go check that out and go show TJ some support. But last question I have here for you, TJ, is, you know, we've talked about all these things, you know, camps, pre-draft processes, you know, coming into the NFL. Looking ahead, you have the rookie mini camp coming up here this upcoming week, and then you have a lot of other off-season activities after that. What should Buccaneers fans and NFL fans in general expect from TJ Simmons coming into the NFL?
They should expect a smile and a happy person who's enjoying life, because that's the type of person I am. I'm always be smiling. I'm always be trying to have fun, and even though I'm at work or I'm doing the job, I'm always gonna be trying to have fun while I'm doing it. And they can also expect a hardworking guy who's going to do whatever it takes to stay in the position to feed his family. So I'm gonna do whatever I got to do on and off the field to better myself, to better my family, and to put me in the position to live a great life. So everything I'm going to do as far as in the community of Tampa, on the field. I'm going to be doing things that's helping everybody around me, and we're trying to build everybody up.
Yeah, and I agree, man. And you know, to expand on it, man, humble, hardworking, and just overall an awesome dude. You know, is what I think the Buccaneers are getting, what I think the NFL is getting, man. It really has been a pleasure to talk with you on here. You've been a phenomenal guest, point blank. You know, so I really do appreciate that. TJ, before we go ahead and we finish off this interview, do you have any final words for anybody watching this video?
For anybody watching this video, thank you for the support. Subscribe, like my man's channel, follow all the Tampa Bay updates. Go Mountaineers, still an ear, go Buccaneers. Yes, and I'm happy to be in Tampa, baby.
Right on. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Again, I will have links to all of TJ's social medias, as well as where you can get some of his merchandise and where you can go check out Reveal Suits. All of that will be down in the pinned comment in the comments section below, so please go check that out and show some support. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed, and as always, we will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now. TJ, can you do the salute with me? And go Bucs. See you guys soon.